These are the two beams that we're going to use for our milling building, shed, cover, awning, whatever you want to call it. We'll get started on this a little bit today. I'm going to put the cage on so I can go up in it and do some measuring.
Greetings. Today we're working on a project to finally get our sawmill covered. In the past videos we called it a Sawmill Pavilion. It will basically be a roof over the sawmill, which is really going to be nice. Part of the process that we're going to be working on today is we're going to be reviewing a new measurement tool made by Cigman, and what we need to determine is the distance from the bottom of the posts and the top of the post to make sure it's the same. So Lori's going to get up in the cage and we'll make the measurements and just make sure we're correct. We'll do that on each side. And then we've got some 2x10s over here that we're going to be using for the beams, and then we'll have a roof that has a little bit of slope on it. It slopes towards the back. And eventually we'll cover that with metal. So, but this is just the first episode of working on the Sawmill Pavilion. Thanks for joining us. Okay, here's the measuring tool that we're going to be using. It's a Cigman laser measurement tool. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of different features, so you can do. This is what it looks like. It's kind of hard to see it in the sun, but it can do direct measurements. If you hold this button in when you're measuring, it can do a continuous measurement. So you can, the first step would be just a snapshot measurement. The second one would be you can continue to measure, especially if you're moving around a little bit and you want to check it. It has a level measurement, and it's hard to see, but there's a little, when you're level, it turns green, so you can tell if you're level. It can do area measurement. So that'd be, if you do that, you'd be measuring. Let's say you're working on a wall, you want to know the area of the wall, you'd measure it, the width of the wall, and then you'd measure the height, and that would give you the area measurement. It can also do volume measurement, which means if you were trying to measure a room, you can measure the width, the length, and the height, and this will give you the volume measurement, which is really handy. It can also do angle measurements. I don't know if you'll be able to see this if I put it in the shade. Yeah, you can't see it very well, but if you can put it like this, And if you wanted to measure an angle, you just tip it like this. It works both ways. So you could do it like this and get an angle. It can measure right triangles, and it has a magnet on the back of it. So if you're working on something metal, you can just attach it to the metal. But like I said, today what we're going to be using it for is we'll first measure the distance between these bottom parts.
And I don't know if you can see it for sure, but we got a reading at the bottom of 166 inches. So now we're going to put me in the cage. I'm going to go up and we're going to see if the top is 166.
Okay, Lori's going to be measuring the upper part. We had a measurement of 166 down below. We just want to make sure that when we put our beam up, that the poles are approximately the same distance. We plumbed these poles when we put them in, but we just augered them in and tamped around them. Put a little cement at the base, I think, but they can move over time, so we're just checking.
167.4.
Wow, nice.
That's pretty close, huh?
Yeah.
166 at the bottom, 167.4 at the top.
That's close enough. So what Lori's doing is these are 2x10s. I measured them, they're 9¼ inches wide. So she's gonna make a notch coming down, 9¼ and we'll probably come in about at least 2 inches on the post. And that'll be where the beam sits on each side. She's gonna use a chainsaw to make the cuts.
Okay, so we're gonna lift up. Does that look good?
Yeah.
Okay, your end needs to go up a little because I don't want more. Right, how's yours look?
It came back down, but that's okay.
All right, so I'm still up on the tractor in the bucket cage. But we got the beam set and used the measure, the laser measure to check the distance and make sure they were really straight. So everything looks really good so far. We'll probably start building out the roof soon.